2 o'clock in the morning on one evening, one night, we walk into this bar, no mask, and they'll just walk in, sit down, and there was 3 people there. One owner of the bar and 2 cocktail waitresses getting ready to close the shop. The brother lieutenant jumps up, puts the 45 to the head of the owner. My position was to go into the back room, open the safe, get the $30,000, and let's go. I walk into the room, open up the safe. There was sacks of pennies and nickels and dimes. And by the time I walk out to go to tell the brothers, brother, there's no $30,000 in here, they were gone.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know what was going on. I had the gun down like here at my side, and the 2 people or 3 people behind the bar had their hands up. And so a sister says to me, brother, at that time, I hear helicopters. I hear shotguns, machine gun, boom, from one side. Oh, this was not in the script that I've had. So I go to the front door to go out, and the sister puts her body there and says, don't go out there, brother, you get shot. I said, okay. I'm scared. You know, my heart is on the floor. I'm shaking. I run out the back door, climb up 2 stories high, and I see my brothers, the 2 over there, shooting at the police. It's a true story. I jump. I don't know how high it was at that time, but I jumped from the top of the building, and you know when you jump from someplace, you go, well, okay, you hit the ground. I'm still in the air wondering when I'm going to hit the ground. And finally I hit the ground, break both legs. In the excitement, I get up, don't know the legs are broken because I'm scared trying to run. A policeman shoots me in my right leg and I fall down. Here comes the other 2, another policeman with a shotgun, puts it in my face and said, shoot that MFing nigger. And by that much time, he said, don't hold it, man, the sergeant's here. My life was like that. Next thing I know, I'm being thrown into the back of a police wagon, like a pack of a big coker sack of potatoes, and I'm taken to Highland Hospital, where I find myself with 2 IVs in one arm here, one arm there, both legs broke. Pain was absolutely excruciating. I open my eyes, and who's standing before me? My lovely mother. My mother says, boy, you made this bed, and you have to sleep in it. Mama's here, but Mama can't sleep in that bed. Next thing I know, I'm going to not go through all the details. At that time, San Quentin was a hot place. You would hear a lot on the radio about killings and etc. of San Quentin. I knew I was guilty, but I didn't want to go to San Quentin. And I didn't have money to bail myself out of jail. And I couldn't walk, and so I'm in now a convalescent hospital with a police guard 24 hours on me. And I knew that when I went to court, all I could say, yeah, I'm guilty. And then straight to prison. I thought I was going to go straight to San Quentin, where most brothers in that area went. One day they said, Miller, roll him up. I'm in hospital. I couldn't walk too well. I said, what, roll him up? Yeah, you've been bailed out. I said, wow, who's that? And as I get my clothes together, who was standing there? I bet you all know. It was my mama. My mama was standing there. She had bailed me out. Yeah? Mama didn't have money. I said, Mama, where'd you get this money? My bail was $15,000 at that time. I said, Mama, where'd you get this money? She said, well, I went to the bail bondsman and I told him he wanted me to put up the house. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. My boy's legs are broke. He can't walk. He's not going anywhere. So bail him out. So my mother was very convincing.
Yes, sir.
And I was bailed out. Yes, I'm on 2 crutches going back home. In the newspapers, it was all over the newspapers. Yeah, in Oakland, California, San Francisco, about what I had done and etc. I'm scared to death at that time, wondering what am I going to be like going to San Quentin with both legs out of order. So I secretly had a plan, got some money together, snuck out of Oakland, took a train, took a plane, and went straight to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's house. Rang the doorbell because I wanted somebody to tell me something. Because I'm not a criminal. Yeah, I wanted, but no one came to the door. Then I went to Muhammad Speaks. And at that time, Abbas Razul was there. And I said, brother, I need some help. I need somebody to tell me what to do. Because I'm lost. And really I was. I got no response. And so then I packed my bags. Said, well, where you going to go, brother? And I went to not Jamaica at first, but Haiti, not Haiti. Oh, come on, Karim. No, it was right close to Jamaica. Not Barbados, Bermuda. I'll think of it in a minute. Bahamas. Bahamas. And I didn't like the Bahamas. No, I saw the poverty and I saw the corporate structure on one side. I said, I don't like this. So then I got me a ticket and I went to Jamaica. Never been there before. And when I got to Jamaica, I said, well, let me see this. I love the heat. I love the expression of the people there in Jamaica. And then I'm walking with a heavy limp. Yes. I couldn't walk too much because my foot was swollen and I couldn't take my shoes off. Yeah, that's the truth. And I would walk and go to the library 6 days a week. A brother had given me a Quran. It was a Muhammad Ali version at that time. And I took that book and the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that I had, and I went to the library 6 days a week. The library opened at 9 in the morning and it closed at 6. This brother was there from 9 until 6 days a week trying to figure out what's up. How did I get myself into this kind of situation? Yeah? I wrote a letter and sent it through various means to get back to California, and somehow the bail bondsman got it. I'm regrouping myself, getting a little stronger, working out a little bit, walking on the sand, getting my feet together, and etc. Still limping heavily. One day, as I just come out of a barber shop, looking, well, I'm going to go down to the store here, get me the market meeting down in the ground where the sister was selling different vegetables and what have you. And they got to know me because I would come every day to buy my salads and what have you. And as I'm standing there, 3 guns hit me, 2 from the side, 1 from the back, from the Jamaican police. And they said to me, you know, you Rash, you Bumaclad, the bail bondsman had told them that I had raped black women. And they were ready to do me in. They take me to the police department there in Jamaica. I'm surrounded by Jamaican police. And one brother who looked like a Marcus Garvey grabbed me by my collar and was going to hit me. You raped black women. And I said, no, I didn't. But if you hit me, I'm going to call it just came to me. I'm going to call the American consulate and you're going to lose your job. He dropped his hand. I don't know where that came from, but it came out. They put me in a cell. I wouldn't eat the food. And I'm there for 3 weeks trying to fight extradition. Couldn't do it. I had no money. There was a little hole in the corner over here. That was your toilet. The food that they would bring you is hot meal, but you had to have a container. I didn't have a container. And it just didn't look like I wanted to eat that. So they brought me bananas. And so for 3 weeks, I'm eating bananas. So the federal police come, and they bring me back to the United States of America. Now I find myself in Florida in Dade County Jail for 7 months. Then the Oakland police come. They transfer me down now to Oakland. Then I go to jail. I go to court. And I'm ready at that time to face the consequences. So the judge says to me, "Are you guilty or are you innocent?" I said, "Your Honor, I am guilty. I'm ready to deal." He said, "Okay, the man is guilty. We're going to sentence you to life in prison." I said, "Okay." Yeah. And they rushed me off, processed me, and now I'm in Soledad Central. It's in California, one of the worst prisons at that time. Yeah, I find myself there. I never believed that I was going to spend my life in prison. I never believed it. And at that point, I began to try to, I still do this, brothers and sisters. I stood before the mirror in that cell, and I had a discussion with myself. Brother, how did you get into this? I don't know. How are you going to get out? I don't know. But are you going to get out? Yeah. Well, let's figure it out. I then began to figure out the administration structure. I got to make an appeal to the head man there, but I have to show my behavior. The brothers in the prison, they made me their minister. I never went there wanting to be no minister. They say, "Well, brother, you are our new minister." Okay. In prison at that time, the minister of the Nation of Islam, you could not walk down in the prison community without bodyguards. And I found myself with 2 bodyguards in front of me, 2 bodyguards behind me. I didn't particularly like it. No, I'm not that kind of a person. But that was the rule, because in that prison at that time, you didn't fight. You had your Aryan Brotherhood, Nazis. You had Nuestra Familia, Mexicans. You had Indian gangs at that time. Yeah, and all of these gangs were very powerful. And they would kill you. It's not about fighting. It was about killing you. So I learned that system. In our community in that time, we were about 15, 20 brothers. I connected with Imam Hassan in Los Angeles. I connected with the imams in Oakland. Every 3 months, we were allowed to have bean pie sales. And every month, we had a dynamic bean pie sale in that prison. And there are 3,000 inmates there. And we sold to over 15% of them. And so the master, at that time, the temples were receiving checks from us, $15,000, I'm telling you the truth, $12,000, $18,000. If Imam Hassan was here, he could verify that. Oakland can verify that. Yes? So the bean pies and all this was coming into the community. Brothers who couldn't read or write, we had studies to teach them how to read and write. What were we using? Muhammad Speaks. That's what we were using. Yes? Because the community in that prison, they had big respect for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's program. Very big respect. When the Honorable Elijah Muhammad passed on February 25th, 1975, the warden of the prison called me into his office and said, "Brother Minister, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has passed, and I wanted to call you in and tell you myself, here is the news alert," because I wouldn't have believed it unless I saw it. Then I saw it. My heart dropped. We prayed. At that time, you know, we used to pray standing up like that, you remember? And then I met the Imam. He wasn't the Imam then. He didn't call himself that at that time. You called him then the Supreme Minister, remember? That's right. Yeah. And I read his first article, Invisible White Divinity by Visible White and God. I said, wow, what's that? Man, that shook me up. It took me a week to just digest the title. And I'm serious.